Back to Sacred Heart Football and the Mark Nofri Head Coach's Show, our first edition of it as we begin the 2013 football season with the head coach Mark Nofri. And Coach, talk about camp and tell us about the quarterback situation. I know you had a good old-fashioned competition for the QB position, 3 guys going for it. How did they look, and what's the status of that at this time?
Well, let's go back to camp. Camp for us this year was outstanding. The kids came in great shape. We had roughly 30 to 40 kids stay up here this summer. I couldn't be more pleased with the kids when they got back and did their conditioning test and the weightlifting test and in the shape that they showed up in. And I thought our camp this year was pretty good. I was excited about it. We finished the other day and really look forward to the season starting. And yes, we did have a 3-quarterback race. It started in the spring with Shane Scambray, RJ Noel, and Evan Pittman. And at this point in time, each of them took equal amount of reps throughout the spring and summer. And right now we're going to go with RJ Noel as our starting quarterback starting Saturday against Marist. All
right, now let's talk about who he'll be throwing to. Greg Moore has shown versatility throughout his career here at Sacred Heart. He's come out of the backfield for you. He's lined up at wide receiver. But this year he's going to focus and start at wide receiver. Why?
I think right now we have a pretty good stable of backs. Kashada Spence was a starter for us last year and rotated with Greg, and Sean Bell, who was the 3rd guy last year, got a lot of playing time as well. I think Sean and Kashadas could do a great job back there, and to utilize more of our athletic ability and get more playmakers on the field. I think moving Greg out to slot or receiver and getting them the ball in open space really helps us offensively. We also have 2 freshman running backs that I feel that came in, did a great job during camp, and we look good. They look good as well. And I think we could go 2 to 4 deep at running back. The receivers with Greg Moore out there in space, Tyler Doobie, who played quite a bit last year, has had a great camp for us. I'm looking for big things from him. And Robert Dim, another kid that played for us at wide receiver last year, had a good camp as well. Going to be a junior this year for us, has been on the field for 2 years. So I feel good about the 3 receivers that we got, and Robert, Tyler, and Greg Moore, and the 2 backs, and Kashadas and Sean Bell.
In the past, in the backfield, you've distributed the ball a lot to a number of different guys, and they have different running styles, and I imagine they make it a little bit difficult to scout against you. Do you expect this year again to use the kind of versatility? I know Kashada Spence certainly is the guy that has gotten the majority of the handoffs and the touches, but with the depth that you have there, are you going to give teams different looks?
I think we will, at times, depending upon the game plan that week and who we're playing. And again, Kashadas and Sean will be the 2 guys that we're going to put back there. And obviously we have a decent fullback in Pat Casey that catches the ball well out of the backfield as well.
You have Dan Pulaski transferring from Western Carolina. What does he bring to the offensive line?
Dan, played at Western Carolina, which is, pretty good 1AA football down south for us. And he came here in this year. He graduated from Western Carolina. He's in our grad program, and he brings another bigger body with some field experience already. It's not like we're putting a freshman in there. Paul Link will be a 5th-year senior for us. It's starting already for the last 2 years. I feel good about Andrew Brigley, who'll be a junior for us this year. Nick Bartoli's been playing a little bit last year as a freshman. He's a sophomore. And really the anchor of the whole thing is Jamie Martinez at right tackle for us. He's been on the field for 2 full years now, and he's just probably our best one up front. And I feel real good about the big guys and where we're at offensive line-wise, and I think it starts with the O-line. And like I said, this year I feel real good about those guys. I like where they were in the spring, and I like it even better now after seeing when camp was done.
Let's move on to the defense there after a good talk about the offense. And you just named Matt Colucci, a senior linebacker, a 4th captain. What went into that decision, and what kind of leadership does he bring?
Well, Matt will be a 5th-year senior. He's already graduated. He's in grad school for us. He's a kid that's been in our program for 4 years. Outstanding individual, both on and off the field. Had over a 3.0 grade point average. Works his butt off in the weight room, never misses a practice, never takes a day off. The kids look up to him. He knows where he's got to be. He knows both inside linebacker positions. In fact, last 2 years he's played the will. This year he'll play the Mike. So I've moved him around. He knows both. Like I said, he's just a great kid. The kids look up to him. He's what a student athlete represents. A team player who does the things on and off the field the right way. And I think it was a good nod for him and gave him a little bit more confidence.
You're returning all of your starters from the secondary. Gordon Hill was one of your leading tacklers last year. He comes back for his junior year, and you have a lot of depth in the secondary. So how does that play out for you guys, having guys coming back with that kind of experience?
The secondary has been one of our, I think this year was probably one of our most talented positions on the field. You're talking about Dennis Reagan, Stephon Thomas, Preston Sanford, Gordon Hill. They've all been on the field for us. They've been playing since their freshman year, and like I said, they're only going to be juniors, all four of them. They've had a little bit of a nucleus since their freshman year, and they've always had experience playing together. And I feel like those four guys back there, they're really older guys that have had experience that are not going in for the first time. They've been battle tested, so I'm expecting big things from those guys, with Gordon Hill kind of being the guy that's moved all around a little bit and can play a number of different positions for us, and really stands out as one of our leading tacklers.
And on the defensive line, you bring back Troy Moore, who's a preseason All-NECer. He's done a great job before. He comes back again this year and gives you some size and some toughness on the defensive line.
Yeah, Troy started again his freshman, sophomore year. Last year was a sophomore year, and he had a great year for us. Again, he's one of the bigger kids that moves well for us. I'm real excited about him and where he came from. In terms of his sophomore year and his freshman year, being battle tested, being on the field, has grown up. He's already had game experience. He's only a junior for us, so I'm looking for big things from him. He's a leader also as a junior for our defense, and not just the defensive line, but for everybody overall. I'm excited about Connor Caveney. Played a little bit as a freshman, took last year off. He's back again this year. We have a freshman outside linebacker, James Rentz, came to us from January. He's done some great things in the spring in camp. We have another kid, Cam Zinni, who's played also for us a little bit here and there in spot time. He'll be a senior this year, who's been on the field. So, defensive line-wise, you look at Joe Tolino, too. He's a kid that's been playing nose for us, who's a tough kid, goes in, fights, and, gives you exactly what a nose wants. And then we got another upperclassman, and Ray Hodson, who is graduating. He'll be a fifth-year senior, came to us 3 years ago, so this will be his last year, and he's given us some versatility, too, on that D-line. So I'm excited about where we are on the defensive side of the ball, especially up front.
All right, now what we all want to talk about, of course, is game night, and you guys can't wait to get out there, I'm sure. It's why you show up to preseason. It's why you work so hard in the summer. As you see on our new look, Mark Nofri, head coach's show, Sacred Heart, Marist, Saturday night. They're back on the schedule. It's good to have them back on the schedule.
Yes.
I'm sure it's always been a great rivalry between those two schools. You open up Saturday night in Poughkeepsie. What do you expect out of that one?
Well, obviously, year in and year out, we played Marist, I think, 12, 13 times already, and I think we're 6-6 versus them. So it's a pretty evenly matched opponent for us. I mean, Sacred Heart and Marist are two of the similar type schools in terms of size, academics, everything that we look for in a student athlete. They're usually recruiting the same type of kids. We've had some pretty good battles with them over the years. It's evenly matched, and I'm excited. I'm excited to get going, to forget about 2012 and put that behind us and start out of the gates fast and get the thing rolling in the right direction. I know our kids are excited and they can't wait. They've had a long 3 weeks of preseason and tired of beating each other up. Since January we've been talking about this, and our whole focus now is August 31st and that game alone and nothing beyond it. And that's our focus right now, is going up to Marist at 6 o'clock Saturday night.
All right, what do you need to do to come out with a W that night? As far as, obviously you've done all your scouting, and what is the message to the team? What are the most important elements of the game that you've got to come out and execute on Saturday night?
Well, we talk about starting fast, playing smart, playing hard, playing fast. Get ahead and keep that pedal down and don't look back. And again, if something happens where you're going to face some adversity in some part during the game, we're looking for the leadership to step up and get us steered around and point us in the right direction. And whatever happens, don't panic. Come to the sidelines. We'll get it fixed. And, just keep fighting and keep going after those guys and come out with a win.
Very good. Thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck Saturday night.
Thank you.
The season is here. Sacred Heart and Marist Saturday night at 6 o'clock.